We are in Siman Reish Samach Gimel Sif Yud. This is definitely on the top two lists of my favorite sifim in this very important siman. Yesterday we learned the Torah, we learned the Shulchan Aruch, we learned the commentaries on the Shulchan Aruch. We did not start the Mishnah Berura. Today we will dissect bits and pieces of the Shulchan Aruch and elaborate on massive, tremendous insight that we're going to come out with. Let's go in order over here. First of all, the Shulchan Aruch began by quoting the Bahag. This is a fundamental Bahag. The Bahag says, which we saw inside yesterday, once a person lights the Shabbos candles, Shabbos falls upon him, aka that individual accepts Shabbos accept Shabbos, who the individual light. I'm very careful also when I'm typing, not to say men, women, but at the end of the day, we're going to hold specifically women, as we already learned yesterday from the Rama, accept Shabbos upon themselves when they light, like this Bahag. However, men do not. We're going to have to figure out what would be the difference between a male and a female in this regard. Why do we accept Shabbos later, sometime during davening, Mizmor Shir, potentially Baruch Hu? Seems like Mizmor Shir. I had a question on the Rama, why the Rama said Baruch Hu, not Mizmor Shir. But anyways, so based on this, when a woman lights, she accepts Shabbos upon herself. When what? When she lights. Now, this is the opinion of the Bahag, and this is a very important opinion to contend with. So comes along, because this is basically how we're going to hold. We're going to come back to accepting Shabbos during the beracha versus the actual lighting. We're going to come back to the nuances of that. So they comment over here like this. Well, before the commentary, we learned. Let's just recap briefly what we did yesterday. We have this opinion number one in the Shulchan Aruch, which is the Bahag. Women accept Shabbos upon themselves when they light. Then we have opinion number two, which is Tosfos and the Rosh, saying that no, if she makes a condition not to accept Shabbos upon herself, then she won't accept Shabbos upon herself. So she could accept it later. Then we have the opinion of the Kolbo, who says that condition would not work. It would not be good. Okay. Then we have opinion number four. Oh, sorry. That opinion that she could make a condition. If you look in the Ber Hagol, I made a mistake. Sorry, that's the Mordechai. That's not Tosfos and the Rosh. Sorry, I got confused. Tosfos and the Rosh are opinion number four. Tosfos and the Rosh say you accept Shabbos upon yourself when you daven Marv, right? Daven Marv, Baruch Hu. Nowadays it would be Mizmor Shir. We're gonna have to go on to why that would change. Opinion number five, which is how we hold, it's split. Women accept Shabbos upon themselves when they light, like the Bahag, and men we accept Shabbos upon ourselves when we daven Mizmor Shir, like Tosfos and the Rosh. Good, beautiful. That's the Sif. Question is, I don't understand. What does the Rama say in Sifei from the Maharil and the Mordechai? What do women do when they light? Someone answer the question.
Well, when they light first, they light the candles.
Oh, first they light.
Then they got to cover.
Yeah, they got to cover, and then they say the bracha. Why don't they say the bracha before?
Because we said that it's going to be Shabbos once they
say the bracha. Wait. We just saw 5 opinions in the Shulchan Aruch over here. Where is that opinion that you accept Shabbos upon yourself with the bracha?
It's somewhere there, no?
Where? We learned it yesterday. We just did a recap today. Where is it? It's a trick question. It's not here.
Because we learned it already. They didn't have to mention it again.
We learned it already. Who said we learned it already? The Rama brought it down. The Shulchan Aruch didn't bring this down. The Rama quoted this idea. But why doesn't it make its way into Shulchan Aruch over here? And whose opinion is that? Mordechai, the Maharil. Maharil's already not as far back. And it's very interesting because the Mordechai, if you look at the Baragol over here, he piped in right over there, what I just highlighted. The Mordechai is the one who says you can make a condition not to accept Shabbos upon yourself. So if you could make a condition, why doesn't a woman just make a condition that she's not going to accept a Shabbos upon herself when she says the bracha until after she lights? What's going on over here? First of all, The Oz Vehadar Mishna Berura picks up on this miss coming from the Shulchan Aruch, and the Oz Vehadar Mishna Berura says from the Shulchan Aruch it's implied that the opinion of the Bahag holds that a woman accepts Shabbos upon herself when she actually lights the candle. It's also implied from the Ran. The Beis Yosef quotes a lot of this. The Or Zarua, yeah, he says the Beis Yosef. However, earlier they quote the Rama and Sifei says that women accept Shabbos upon themselves when they say the bracha, and therefore the Rama comes along and says, okay, you can't say the bracha before you light, because if you're going to say the bracha before you light, you're going to accept Shabbos upon yourself. If you're going to accept Shabbos upon yourself, then you can't light. Rather, the Rama therefore comes along and says, okay, make the bracha after you light. You have to. Can't do it before, because then you can't light. Rather, in order that it will be considered that you said the bracha before you did the mitzvah, so to say, you cover the candles, which we also learned. Many say you cover your eyes. You don't get pleasure from it. You say the bracha, and then you open, and then you get pleasure from it. If you look over here, this is I think my favorite part of this footnote. They quote over here from the Gra, the Vilna Gaon, who says that this is the opinion of the Bahag. You understand what that means? That is huge. What that means. The Vilna Gaon has a tremendous insight. The Vilna Gaon learns that the Bahag holds that you accept Shabbos upon yourself not with the physical lighting, with the actual lighting, rather the bracha. Kedas bal halachos gedolos. That's what the Gra says. Like the opinion of the Bahag, the bal halachos gedolos, aka this Rama, who said that since you accept Shabbos upon yourself, when you light, when you say the bracha, right? Therefore, you can't say the bracha first, because then you can't light after. So first you light, cover, then say the bracha. That's the Bahag. Do you accept Shabbos upon yourself when you light? When you say the bracha, excuse me. So the reason why this is fascinating, just to reopen the Bahag, which we already learned again yesterday, if you look at the Bahag inside, the Bahag comes along and he says, if you have to light the menorah on Shabbos, aka Shabbos Chanukah, first you light the menorah of Vehadar madlik ner the Shabbos, and then you light the Shabbos candles. Why? If you're going to be madlik, what does madlik mean?
Light.
What does light mean? Not the bracha. It means the physical lighting.
Right.
The imadlik ner Shabbos bereisha, if you're gonna light the Shabbos first, the ner Shabbos, it's sarlei la'adluke ner Chanukah. You're not gonna be able to light the menorah. My time of why the kevan de adlik ner Shabbos bereisha. Since you were adlik ner Shabbos first, what does adlik mean?
You lit.
You lit. Since you lit Shabbos first, it's also sarlei la'adluke ner Chanukah. You can't light the menorah anymore. Mishum dekablo l'Shabbos lave, because you accept the Shabbos upon yourself. It's pretty clear that the Bahag holds that you accept Shabbos once you actually light. So this Vilna Gaon over here that's coming in big and saying that the opinion of the Bahag holds that you accept Shabbos upon yourself when you say the bracha, and he's saying that that Rama and Sifei is going like the Bahag. That's a tremendous insight. Tremendous. So, let's continue in this footnote over here. It's also implied from the Kolbo, quoted by the Beis Yosef, that once you say the bracha of Shabbos, ein lecha kabola gedolim mizot. There's no greater way of accepting Shabbos than this. Just remember the Shulchan Aruch over here in our Sif. And Sifyu did not quote this opinion. There were 5 different opinions. The 5th one is kind of a compromise and a chelem pot of everything. But the Shulchan Aruch did not quote this opinion officially over here. Not only that, but the Rama didn't even bring this. The Rama seems to say when you light. That's obviously not how we hold from Sefei during the bracha, but we're going to come back to that Rama to figure out exactly what the Rama holds. Obviously, this has tremendous halachic ramifications for how women light every single time of her life that she lights for Shabbos. It's also implied from this Shiboli Haleket that once you make a bracha So now you accept Shabbos upon yourself. Also the Aruch Hashulchan, also from the Mishnah Berura, in Sivkot and Chaf Aleph, where there was a big back and forth in that Mishnah Berura, at least according to the Maharash. So it's implied that lighting itself, you would not accept Shabbos. It's going to be only with the beracha, not the actual lighting. The Oz Hashulchan rejects that last proof coming from the Mishnah Berura over there, quoting the Maharash, which makes sense because the Mishnah Berura itself didn't go like that. If you look it up, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Look it up again and go through it slowly. The Mata Yehuda, the Torah Shafal, the Oz Hashulchan, they quote many poskim that say that this is dependent on the bracha. We accept that a woman accepts Shabbos upon herself with the bracha. We're going to come back to that. Something very relevant today about that and in upcoming sessions on this. The question is, could we bring a proof how the Shulchan Aruch holds over here? Back in Sif Hey, because these Sifim are really overlapped. If I was writing this, I would put Sif Hey and Sif Yud right next to each other or something. But I didn't. Sif Hey over here, the Shulchan Aruch says, Yadlik, when you light the Shabbos candle, when you light the wick with the oil, Yavarach, you say, etc. You say the bracha. So it's not so clear from the Shulchan Aruch over here what comes first, the bracha or the lighting. Seems like the bracha will come first. Seems like. Moving to Sifhei, the Shulchan Aruch quotes the Bahag, saying, according to the Bahag, when you light Shabbos, you accept Shabbos upon yourself, and you're not allowed to do malacha, you're not allowed to do muksa. Based on this, he quotes the Shiboli Haleket, which we learned about yesterday. We saw also in the Beis Yosef. Says the Ksas Nashim, some women have the custom that after they make the bracha, Acher sheberchu, you clearly see it specifies over here. First, they would say the bracha, vehadliku, and then light. You see, going according to the simple explanation of the Bahag, you accept Shabbos upon yourself when you actually light. Therefore, you could say the bracha. Someone under the custom that after they say the bracha and after they light, mashlichos, they throw the match to the floor so that they don't directly extinguish it. If they don't extinguish it, it just goes out on its own, because once you light, you accept the Shabbos upon yourself. If you accept Shabbos upon yourself, you can't extinguish a match. So you see clearly from the Shulchan Aruch over here, and the way that he's quoting the Shiboli Haleket, that first you say the bracha, and then you light. Question is, that's what it seems like is clear. The Rama earlier said otherwise, like we know. The Caf Hachaim comes along and says, no, that's not what the Shulchan Aruch meant. When the Shulchan Aruch said that I'm just going to pull up the Caf Hachaim on the screen so everyone could see it inside. When the Shulchan Aruch said you make a bracha and then you light, that's not what he meant. Sha'achar sheberchu vehadliku is definitely not what he meant. Caf Hachaim and Samach Beis. Samach Beis, sorry, it's right in front of me. He says lav dafka, near the lav dafka lacha sheberchu. Doesn't mean that after you said the bracha. Shulchan Aruch doesn't mean that you said the bracha first and then you light. Because it says earlier, talks about this in Mem Gimel, which is Rama. Some say that when you say the bracha, you accept Shabbos upon yourself. So if that's so, how could you accept Shabbos and you're still holding a match? Rather, immediately after you light, you put the match down on the ground and then you say the bracha. The reason why I thought that this is important to share, even though we're Ashkenaz and we don't hold this way, is because you already see from the Caf Hachaim himself that not all Sefardim are going to hold that you say the beracha first and then you light. You could learn that the Shulchan Aruch is lav dafka. When the Shulchan Aruch said that after you said the beracha and then you lit, it didn't specifically mean that you said the beracha and then you lit. And therefore, there's going to be different customs among Sephardi Jews how the women light on Shabbos. Some are going to just say the beracha and then light, while others are going to do like the Rama said. That they're going to light first, cover, so that they can't look at the light, then recite the beracha, then open up and get pleasure. But I think, okay, another question. The Shulchan Aruch said, according to Shibbolei like it, mashlichos la'aretz. You take the match, you don't just put the match down. You chuck it on the floor. You throw it on the floor. Mashlacha. Why don't you just say put it down? First of all, you got to realize you can't throw the thing on the floor. What this means is you put it down slowly. It doesn't mean you throw it on the floor. If you're going to throw it on the floor, it's going to be a psik dereisha, and you're going to automatically extinguish it. That defeats the whole purpose. Yeah, okay, no. That's already a question. My favorite part of this entire sip is what we're about to do right now. We're going to cover this more. I had the question for years. For around 10 years, I had the question. Because I didn't learn this as thorough as I should have the first time I did it. That's why I'm happy to do it now. I mean, you see how fundamental and how applicable this is. But without anyone raising their hands, what does your wife do when she lights? There's two types of women in this world, fellas. There's the type of women who use a lighter when they light or a match and they put it out. And then there's the type of women who use a match and put it down gently and don't put it out when they light. Those are the two types of women in this world. Yeah, David. David, you got a raised hand. But you're on mute. So I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that. What's the Zoom etiquette?
No, so no, the Rav asked to raise
Yeah.
by show of hands or something.
Yes, so
No, I really don't. I don't even know what my wife does. Is that? I don't know.
You better figure it out. Well, you better figure this out and gently say, we're learning about it in the morning and talk about it.
Yeah.
The question becomes, this is the question that I had for a decade. Why wouldn't a woman be able to put her match out or use a lighter if you're going to go like the Rama, which is what we do? Us for Ashkenazim will go like the Rama. We light first, women light first, and then cover their eyes. You didn't accept Shabbos upon yourself until you said the bracha.
Isn't
So
a
why
lighter?
can't you put the match out?
Isn't a lighter an issue too? Because then
it's an issue if you're
more of
already going like the simple explanation of the Shulchan Aruch. You're going to say the bracha first, and then you're going to light after. You're going to accept the Shabbos upon yourself when you light, so then you definitely can't do it.
More of an issue than a match.
But for us, we accept Shabbos upon ourselves with the bracha. So why can't you use a lighter and a match?
Because you're doing malacha between you. Oh, the lighter you might be doing mavir. You might be extinguishing, no?
Mavir or mechave?
Mechave, right?
Extinguishing. But let me tell you, when do our women that are Ashkenaz accept Shabbos? When they say the bracha, like the Rama said in Sifei. They say the bracha after they light. They cover their eyes. Remember not to look at the lighting that they did. So why can't you use a lighter, our women? Why can't you use a match? Maybe you could. Shaya, what are you asking?
You could. It's part of the process.
Oh, you could? Okay. Why? Because you accept Shabbos because you accept Shabbos during the bracha?
Yeah, you're getting rid of number one, you're getting rid of the match before the bracha.
Yeah.
And number two, it's anyway, it's part of the process. It's that's how you get fire. You need to have fire.
But you would agree that if a woman's Sefardy and she's going to accept Shabbos when she lights because she says the bracha beforehand, that she that she should put down the match, right?
Yeah, she should do it differently.
Yeah, okay, fine. Who are these guys? They're schmoozing? Security guard? All right, close the door. He's not going anywhere. He's paid the beer, and then another guy schmoozes them while he's here. We know the drill. So I had this question for years. Let me ask you a follow-up question. This is just for Shaya, because he was a little lenient over here. He was a makel. How come I've seen women before when they lied that they're Ashkenaz, they put the match down, they didn't extinguish it. Are you saying that what they're doing has no halachic basis at all, Shaya?
When do people watch other women wipe?
What do you mean? What else would I be doing?
When
When? What do you mean? You see it. You see it. I'm saying.
I don't know.
Well, it has basis. They want to be strict like what the Sefardim do. They want to try to be a little extra careful.
What's the point though? They accept Shabbos during the beracha. That's why they cover their eyes after. That's why they don't say the beracha before they physically light. So what's the point of it? This was the question that I had for a decade.
Again, to your question, just to clarify, is like,
Yeah.
what benefit are they getting from doing it in that other way? That's your question.
Why would it be halachically beneficial in any way, shape, or form?
I hear. It's a good question. I don't know.
So this is my favorite part. This is what we're going to be discussing right now. This is what they discuss in this beautiful footnote, and in others, Farm also discuss this point. According to the opinions who say, show all the way. Tell him to join. You want to join our chabur in here? Yeah, there's what to talk about. Okay. According to the opinions who say that you accept Shabbos, you want to shul? Let's talk Torah. What are you talking Narishkeit about? All right. Anyways, according to the opinions who say that you accept Shabbos upon yourself when you light, aka the simple explanation of Bahag, Shulchan Aruch, that's how many Sefardim go like. It's obvious it's prohibited to extinguish the match. Obvious. You can't do it. You accept the Shabbos. However, according to the opinions who say, aka the Rama, the Maharil, the Rama and Sefei, that we accept Shabbos upon ourselves during the bracha, so then, since you didn't say the bracha and you didn't accept Shabbos upon yourself, why can't you extinguish it? Guess what? You could extinguish it. I want to show you what the Aruch Hashulchan says inside. Before we go to the next opinions who say why you shouldn't extinguish it, just preface it by saying like that. But I want to just show you what the Aruch Hashulchan says in Sif Yud Daled. It says like this. Venira, it appears to me, the Aruch Hashulchan says, Rabbi Yechiel Mechel Epstein, those women who say the bracha before they light, that's what we're talking about. Because if you're going to be within the category of the women who say the bracha afterwards, you could extinguish it. Because it's still before the bracha. Zehu pshita, this is obvious. Before the bracha, you didn't accept Shabbos upon yourself. Lefi zeh, nashim shalanu, our wives, our women, Ashkenaz, who say the bracha after they light, as we learned earlier, sifei, they could extinguish it and then afterwards recite the bracha. And it appears that this is the custom and no one doubts this. Very strong language of the Aruch Hashulchan. For sure, you could extinguish it. Hold it. Not so fast, though. Because others say otherwise. Then they point out that the Shulchan Aruch, who said that you should not extinguish the match, he's going according to his opinion. When he's going like the Mordechai, who says that you accept Shabbos upon yourself when you light, the simple explanation of the Bahag, and therefore you can make the bracha before you light. Shulchan Aruch is going to opinion, and therefore you have to. He says that you have to put the match down and not to extinguish it. However, the Ben Ish Chai and Parshas Noach and others say this idea. It says even according to the opinions who say that you say the bracha after you light, aka the Rama, the Mariel, you cannot extinguish the match. Why? He bases this on what the Shulchan Aruch Harav says. The Shulchan Aruch Harav explains that even the Rama himself, technically speaking, from the letter of the law, Mikra Din holds that we accept Shabbos upon ourselves when we light. So then why did the Rama say that you say the bracha after you light? Why can you do it before you accept Shabbos when you light? Because the Rama is concerned that it could be that we accept Shabbos upon ourselves when we recite the bracha. And therefore, according to this, technically speaking, from the letter of the law, the Rama holds that we accept Shabbos upon ourselves when we light. If we do it when we light, then you can't extinguish the match after. And by the way, this explanation makes tremendous sense because this is a simple explanation of the Bahag. If you look up, by the way, the siman in the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, when he discusses the halachas of Ner Shabbos, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's siman Ayin Beis. If you look it up, the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch explains why it would be that you accept Shabbos upon yourself during the bracha. And this, by the way, could perhaps explain the Vilna Gaon, why the Gra said that the Rama, who said that we accept Shabbos during the bracha, this is the opinion of the Bahag. Because the bracha is part of the lighting process. And therefore, it could be that you accept Shabbos upon yourself. So therefore, it comes out, reason one why you shouldn't extinguish the match is because it could be that the Rama technically holds, like the simple explanation of the Bahag, you accept Shabbos upon yourself when you light. He's just concerned that you might also accept Shabbos upon yourself when you say the bracha.
You show me listen off though if you're gonna.
We're going to discuss that. Reason number two, they say this in the
Well,
name of the Divray Yatziv.
The Rama might be concerned that you might accept Shabbos when you light.
Incorrect.
No?
The
That's what-
way that the Shulchan Aruch Harav is learning the Rama, which is a simple explanation of the Bahag, which we saw inside, that's why I wanted to look at the Bahag inside, is that you accept Shabbos upon yourself when you light. The Rama is just additionally concerned that it could be that you accept Shabbos upon yourself during the bracha, which the Kitzur explains because it's really a package deal. It's a process. It's part of it. And if you're going to say the bracha first, it's the beginning of the process of lighting. So therefore, the Rama comes along with this whole roundabout thing and said, oh, okay, you got to do the hand motion. Because it could be that you accept Shabbos upon yourself when you say the bracha. That's why you have to say the bracha after, because you're going to say the bracha first and you can't light. That's why even though you lit first, it could be now you can't extinguish the match because you accepted Shabbos upon yourself when you lit. What I just said requires review and thought. I tried to say it as slow as possible, but I've researched this. I spent hours and hours on this topic in the last week, hours and hours, and I already learned it in the past also. Now I'm just going even deeper. And what I'm saying, the first time that I saw this, I didn't really properly comprehend exactly. This requires thinking. Reason two, this is very easy to understand. This is the Divray Yatziv. The Divray Yatziv says, Mechava kibui, extinguishing, is one of the 39 malachas of Shabbos. It's a malacha gemur. You're not allowed to do that on Shabbos at all. And therefore, it's considered halachically an interruption between the lighting and the bracha. In other words, when a woman lights, she's supposed to immediately cover her eyes, not to get pleasure. And then as soon as possible, she says the bracha and then she opens it. It's all supposed to be swiftly, immediately. If you're going to extinguish something, that constitutes halachically an interruption. If you want, you can look up the Shmir Shabbos Kilchas and Perik Mem Gimel and Sif Lamed Vav in the footnote Kuf Ayin Test. They discuss it more over there. A little bit. They don't really add much. That's why I didn't make the PDF file on it. Comes out, and we're going to see as we continue learning more about this, that there are two reasons why even Ashkenaz women should not extinguish the match after they light, even before they recite the bracha. Number one is because, technically speaking, the Rama holds that a woman accepts Shabbos when she lights, like the simple explanation of the Bahag. It's just he's concerned that it's during the bracha. So it could very well be that she accepted a Shabbos upon herself when she said the bracha. Reason two, because it could be an interruption in between the lighting and the bracha. At the end of the day, if a woman really, she should not be extinguishing the match. She should not. However, if a woman does, there's certainly what to rely on. The Aruch Hashulchan said explicitly she could, as well as others. But halachically, if you want to go in a preferable manner and cover all opinions, then a woman who lights should not be extinguishing the match. We're going to learn about men, because men, we accept Shabbos later. We're going to learn more about men when we get to the men. Shaya, you good?
Yeah, it sounds good now.
Sounds
Thank
good
you.
now. Any questions, comments on this? This is
The reason why she,
Yeah.
what's the reason why she should extinguish it to begin with?
Well, she just wants to either use a lighter conveniently, or I don't know, she just wants to extinguish it.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever it is. There's a whole discussion also with not to blow out a flame. You shake it out.
Do we also do that in Havdalah?
Yeah, they came up in Havdalah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's
you
brought
just
down. It's like
shake
you're
it
blowing out a soul, whatever. You shake
Right.
it. Yeah.
We put it under water, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's when Shaya gave us from the OU how birthday candles come from a pagan
Oh, that's
comes from
right.
idolatry.
That's
Yeah.
right.
I shared that with people, and some people actually knew it. That was great. That was great. Yeah, no more. Only sparklers now for birthday
Yeah,
parties.
you go to these restaurants in I don't know in Borough Park, but they only have I've seen only
Yeah, that's fine.
sparklers.
Okay, but today's session, that's what we come out with.
They could charge.
Deeper idea with the Bahag, what he
Yeah.
means, the Shulchan Aruch, the Rama, what their intention is, what do they really hold, and this very relevant idea with the extinguishing. All right, so Mitzvah Hashem, tomorrow we'll continue. Now you see why I didn't necessarily want to start Sif Yud before Chanukah, because it's going to take time. We're not even going to finish the whole Sif. This is just the major part of the Sif. The next part talks about something else. But I knew this part's going to take time. It's very
Fire.
involved, you
It's
see.
fire.
It's fire, yeah, it's good.
No pun intended.
Yeah, no pun intended. No pun intended. All right, have a great day, everyone.
Great day.
Very good. Very good.
Stuff.